I mean, there's something of a fallacy that everything started on October 7th, but on October 7th a lot of things changed. The gunfights and the bombardment was getting much, much closer. Our relative's house was bombed and 15 of my mother's cousins were killed while they were sleeping, and that was 10 meters from my grandparents' house. But this was, I think it was just the fact that the ferocity of the bombing around had just become much, much more intense, and the neighborhood was emptying as well. So I think we were like one of the last households to leave. Yeah, it was very hard kind of locking that door for the last time, and now that home has been kind of half destroyed. It's kind of a shell of its former self. Coming back to the UK was very hard because I was kind of letting go of that dream of rebuilding my homeland, and also because I knew I was coming back to an environment that I felt, to me, on an institutional level, was very hostile. I knew what had been going on, the hate marches rhetoric and the like, so I didn't want to come back to that. Believe it or not, I felt much safer under bombardment with no food or water than I do here. So Amplify Gaza Stories is a media and community support initiative that I set up in my time in Gaza. The purpose of Amplify Gaza Stories was, in one part, to record the stories and testimonies of people who are going through the Israeli genocidal assault, and then secondly, to find different ways of publicising and amplifying these stories and getting them to new or different audiences. What I'm going to relay to you now is the story of Kafa Sohail. She's a 20-something young mother who gave birth to her son 2 days or 1 day before her and her family were displaced from Gaza City to the south. And she says, my message to the world is that I've suffered a lot. I've walked so long that people ask me how I walked from Gaza 1 day after giving birth by caesarean section. We're tired. We are a people who have suffered a lot, and all mothers have suffered. Giving birth in fear, with shelling around them, martyrs everywhere. A message to the world: we need mercy and to stop this war. We are thinking about our children and our situation. The occupation must stop its attacks and its genocidal war upon us. We want the war to stop. These are the stories that we'd like to gather and record and spread in ways to make sure that the world knows and more people know what's going on. Because if you don't follow the news, or if you follow certain brands of news, then you're not going to get the true unfiltered stories. You get Palestinians cast in a very different role as being human shields to Hamas, or kind of all being, human animals that the Israelis want to eliminate, when, each of these stories is a whole person's life, and that's why we're doing what we're doing.